Namaste everyone, I am Gyan and you are watching the session 4 of Java and Web Methods as Flow of Control. In this video, we will try to swap two primitive data using method call. In the session 2 of Java and Web, we already have discussed about the local variables within the method. We know that a variable declared within the block is only visible inside that block. It is not visible outside of that block. And this concept is also applied for the two different methods. You can see here we have a class swap numbers, and in this class we have two methods. One method is swap and other method is main. The variables declared within the swap is only visible to the swap, and the variables declared within the main is only visible to the main. So the local variable t of the method swap is not visible to the method main. The local variable x of the method swap is not visible to the method main, and the local variable x of the method main is not visible to the method swap. Here the bytecode starts execution, various memory areas gets created on the JVM and one of them is a stack. Execution of the bytecode always starts from the main, so the stack frame for the main gets created on the stack. In the stack frame of main, the location for the local variable args gets created. The variable args is supposed to contain address of something we will discuss about in later sessions. The first statement of the main is declaration of integer variables x and y. So the memory area for x and y gets created. X contains the 32-bit binary of 5 and y contains the 32-bit binary of 6. The method main is passing the values of variables x and y to the method swap. After the method main calls the method swap, the method main pauses its execution and a stack frame for the method swap gets created on the stack. We have two local variables declared in the formal arguments of the method swap. So these two local variables gets allocated in the stack frame of the method swap. Remember that the local variables x and y belong to swap is very different from the local variables x and y belong to main. So the variables x and y of main are the actual arguments to the method called swap. And the variables declared here in the arguments of the swap definition are the formal argument of the method swap. So the first actual argument gets copied into the first formal argument. That's how the value of the local variable x of main gets copied into the value of the local variable x of swap. Since in the method call the first argument is x and the method definition the first argument is x. That's how the first actual argument gets copied into the first formal argument. And similar thing happens with the y. The second actual argument gets copied into the second formal argument. Here the method main is waiting for the method swap to complete its task. The first statement of the method swap is declaration of integer variable t. So the integer variable t is also local to the method swap, and a memory location with the name t gets created on the stack frame of the swap. Then after we have to assign whatever is stored in the variable x local to the swap in the variable t. So whatever is stored in the value of x local to the swap gets copied into the variable t. In the next statement, we have to assign whatever is stored in the variable y local to the swap into the variable x local to the swap. That's how the value of the variable, which is 6, gets assigned to the variable x. The variable x gets overwritten by the value of y. Then after whatever is stored in the variable t, we need to assign in the variable y. That's how whatever is stored in the variable t, that is 5, gets assigned into the variable y. After the method swap has to print the value of x and value of y. See here the method swap will print its local x and local y. Local x of the method swap is 6 and local y of the method swap is 5. That's how the method swap prints x is equal to 6 and y is equal to 5. But our intention was to change the variables in the main. Our intention was not to change the variable in the swap. After this statement, the execution of the method swap will be over and the stack frame of the method swap will be erased from the stack. All the local variables of the swap x, y and t got erased from the stack. Now the method main will resume itself because called method swap has finished its work. The next statement in the main is printing value of x and value of y. And the method main is printing value of local x and value of local y. There is no change in the value of local x and value of local y of main. The method swap has changed the value of its local x and its local y, but the values of local x and local y of main does not got affected because of method called swap. So the value of x local to the main is still 5 and the value of y local to the main is still 6. That's how the main printing x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 6. After this statement, the execution of method main comes to an end and the stack frame of the method main gets erased from the stack. After the method main finishes its execution, the JVM also finished its execution. Let me execute this code in a Java program. Open swap numbers.java and this is the code. First it will print in swap x is equal to 6, y is equal to 5, and then it will print in main x is equal to 5, y is equal to 6. Let me save and compile it. Java C swap numbers.java. Compiles fine, then run it. Java swap numbers. It runs fine, printing in swap x is equal to 6, y is equal to 5. In main x is equal to 5, y is equal to 6. This code is similar to previous one, just the method call is different. Here the actual arguments are y comma x instead of x comma y. So the first actual argument, that is y, gets copied into the first formal argument, that is x. So here local variable y of main will be copied into the local variable x of swap, and the local variable x of main will be copied into the local variable y of swap. This is a task for you to figure out the output of this code. If you are coming from the C++ background, then you know that the C++ supports methods with default arguments. But Java does not support methods with default arguments. Let me try to use Java methods with default arguments. Open swap numbers.java and write here int x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3. Let me write here default arguments. Let's see what the compiler is saying. Try to compile it. Java C swap numbers.java. Compiler throws lot of errors because we cannot assign a value in the formal argument of a method definition. Of course in C++ we can do it, but in Java we cannot. We will study about the command line arguments later because the command line arguments use the concept of arrays. We will see about it later. We will use methods with variable number of arguments later because methods with variable number of arguments also use the concept of arrays. We will talk about all these things in the later session of Java and Web named arrays. That's all for this video guys. Don't forget to like and share this video, subscribe this channel if you are new, and leave your valuable comments in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.